Why does a man pull away at the exact moment when he feels the most? Why does he close off emotionally when a connection gets deeper? And why does this occur most often with the women he truly cares for? Carl Jung spent many years studying the male mind and found something quite bothering. Men do not flee from difficult women. They do not run from drama. They do not fear complex situations. They pull back from one single trait in a woman. And this trait is often what you think is your biggest strength. Most women do not see what really happens inside a man when he builds emotional distance. They think he is not ready. They think he fears a long-term bond. They think he lacks emotional growth. But Jung grasped the deeper mental truth. A man who loves you a lot pulls away, not because he is mean or unable to love. He pulls away because you wake up something he has hidden his whole life. You spark a mental reaction that Jung called the most risky moment in a man's inner world. And here is the sad truth. Almost every relationship trick you have been told only makes things worse. Advice like, give him some room, misses the point. Tactics like, be a mystery, miss the point. Ideas such as, let him do all the chasing, miss the point because no one has explained the facts of deep psychology. No one has told you what really goes on in his mind when he meets a woman like you. No one has explained why men avoid the very women who reach them at the deepest level. No one has shown you why your emotional openness bothers him. And no one has told you that what you view as a weakness is actually your greatest mental power. Jung found that there is a specific trait in some women that men feel afraid of without knowing why. Not because it is bad, but because it is so powerful that it forces a man to look at himself. And most men are not ready for that meeting. In the next few minutes, you will grasp what happens in a man's mind when he meets a woman who has this trait. You will learn why he pulls back even when he loves you, maybe even because he loves you. You will understand the Jungian view that explains why deep feelings create a gap in men. And you will learn a mental method that changes everything. Not to control him, not to trick him, but to finally see what is happening in his thoughts when he shuts down. But I must warn you, this truth will hurt because you will see that he is not running from you. He is running from the man he would need to be by your side. He is escaping from his own deep feelings that you wake up in him. And the odd thing is this: the more real you are, the more you show your true self, the more you force him to see his own missing pieces. Jung called this the mirror of the unconscious. You show back to him everything he has failed to fix within himself, and that is why he stays away. Not because you are too much, not because you are heavy, not because you are too sensitive, but because you are complete. And his lack of being complete becomes too hard to bear when you are around. So if you are ready to see why men distance themselves from the women they love most, let us look at what Carl Jung showed about the male mind and what few people ever explain about how men really think. Before we go on, I want you to do something important. If what I have said hits home for you, if you see yourself as the woman who makes men face their own truth, then write one word in the comments right now. Reflection. Why does this matter? Jung believed that change happens not just through thought, but through a physical action. By writing this word, you start a process in your own mind. You tell your inner self, I am ready to see the truth. I am ready to understand what is truly going on. This simple act of typing reflection is the first step toward using this knowledge. It is like you are making a deal with your own inner mind. Jung called this being an active part of your own growth. Most women just take in information without doing anything. They watch, they listen, they think, that is interesting, and then nothing changes in their lives. But the women who really change, who shift their love patterns, are the ones who take a step. who choose to be part of the process, who show the world, I am not here just to listen. I am here to grow. When you write reflection in the comments, 3 things happen in your mind. First, you prove to yourself that this idea is real. You honor what you have gone through. Second, you show your inner self that you are ready to own your power and stop thinking that you are too intense or too much. Third, you link up with many other women who are going through the same thing, who know what it feels like to be wanted and pushed away at the same time. Look at the comments and see how many women have written reflection. These are women who get it. These are women who are no longer stuck in old relationship loops, but are becoming the owners of their own lives. And here is the strongest part. When you write reflection, you teach your mind to see the signs in your own love life. You start to see when you wake up his inner battle. You notice when he is running from his own depth. This awareness is what divides women who repeat sad patterns from women who break the cycle and form deep, honest bonds with men who are ready to grow. This fact can feel heavy at first because it takes away the idea that you did something wrong. It shows you that your very presence creates a shift. When a man feels that shift, he feels wide open. He feels seen in ways he has tried to avoid. Your quiet confidence, your clear heart, and your ability to stay steady force him to see the parts of himself he has ignored. He may not have the words for this bad feeling, but his body acts before his mind understands. Distance becomes his armor. Silence becomes his wall. Not because you hurt him, but because you showed him who he really is. This is why chasing, explaining, or making yourself smaller never brings him closer. Those moves only mix you up and take away your strength. Understanding this truth gives your power back to you. You stop taking his distance personally and start seeing it for what it really is. A reaction to growth, a reaction to depth, a reaction to a love that asks for maturity. And once you see this clearly, you no longer beg for a bond. You choose a match. You pick men who can stand in the light you carry without needing to run from it. This knowledge lets peace take the place of confusion and trust take the place of doubt. Do this now before we move on, because what I will share next only works for women who have already taken this first step. Women who only watch and listen without acting might hear the method, but it won't sink into their mind. But for the women who wrote reflection, everything that comes next will have a deep meaning. So are you ready? Good. If you wrote reflection, then you are prepared for what is coming. First, let me explain something about the male mind that most women do not know and that most men do not fully grasp. Carl Jung found that every man carries a female side within him. He called it the anima. This is not just a symbol, it is a real part of the mind in every man. The anima holds everything a man feels as feminine within himself and therefore pushes out of his main identity. His feelings, his soft side, his wish for a deep bond, his ability to feel instead of just think. From the time a boy hears things like, "Big boys don't cry," or "Be tough and don't be weak," he slowly cuts off parts of who he really is. Those parts do not go away. They sink into his hidden mind. They become his anima, and here is why it matters. This hidden, inner world is put onto women, especially the ones he loves, but not in the same way with everyone. Most women only touch his anima a little bit. They play a part. They show a version of being a woman that everyone likes. His outer mask links with their outer mask and everything stays on the surface. These relationships feel safe to him, easy to guess and easy to manage. But then he meets you and something is different. You are not putting on an act. You are not being a woman as a show. You move through life with an honest heart. You are whole, or at least trying to be. Jung would say you are further along the path of finding yourself. You do not hide behind a mask. You do not fake it. You live from the inside out, and that is where the stress starts. When a man meets a woman who is whole on the inside, something strong happens in him. His anima does not just move, it fully wakes up because of you. He suddenly sees everything he said no to in himself, the feelings he never let out, the softness he hid, the hunger for depth he was told was a weakness. You become a walking mirror of the parts of his soul he never dared to look at. In that moment, fear grows. Many women get this fear wrong. They think he fears being stuck, that he is emotionally closed off, still stuck on his ex, or just afraid to be close. But the truth is much deeper. He is not running from you. He is running from himself, from the inner world that your presence brings into the light. Jung described this meeting with the anima as one of the most scary yet life-changing moments in a man's life. It is scary because it puts the identity he spent years building at risk. He sees he is not just about control, logic, and strength. He is also about feelings, being vulnerable, and wanting more. For a man who learned that being strong means hiding feelings, this thought feels like the ground is shaking. So he pulls back, not because his love is weak, but because it is too much. The deeper his feelings for you, the more his anima wakes up. The more it wakes up, the clearer his inner gap becomes, and the clearer that gap feels, the more his fear grows. Distance becomes his exit. This is the mental pattern most women never see, and most advice gets totally wrong. You are told to give him space, but in his inner world, this just proves his fear and teaches him that staying away keeps him safe. You are told to be a mystery, but mystery only works on shallow things. A man whose anima you have woken up cannot chase. He is already sinking in feelings he does not understand. You are told to act calm and cold, but your realness is what reached him first. If you suddenly become cold, you lose the very thing that touched him. A Jungian expert would say, this is the moment you stop being yourself and go back to a mask. And when you do that, you become like everyone else in his life, safe but empty of meaning. So the real question is not what you did wrong. The real question is how to handle a situation where your greatest strength, your emotional wholeness, is also what pushes him away. To understand this, you must know that there are 3 kinds of men, and each one acts differently toward a woman like you. The first kind is totally stuck in his mask. His anima is buried so deep, he doesn't even know it is there. When it gets touched, he runs and never looks back. He is not ready to grow. The second kind knows on some level that his anima is there, but he is scared of it. He pulls away, but keeps coming back. He wants to be close, but cannot hold on to it. He loves you, but fears what you wake up in him. This man is right on the edge of changing and needs something very specific. The third kind is a man who has already started his own growth. He knows his emotional world and has made it part of himself. This man does not run. He moves toward you because of your depth, not despite it. So the real question is, which kind of man are you looking at? And even more, what do you do when you are dealing with the second kind? The man who loves you but runs, who gets close and then shuts down, who feels a lot but hides it. This is where Jung's view is very helpful, because the answer is not to quit on him or chase him. It is something much deeper. It is the idea that you cannot be his doctor, but you can be his mirror. And there is a very special way this happens, a way that changes the whole game. Before we get there, you need clear signs, something simple that tells you, yes, I woke up his anima. Yes, he is running from himself and not from me. Jung talked about certain ways a man acts when his anima is woken up by a woman. When you see these signs, you can be sure that you are not the problem. You are the spark for something he must face inside. The first sign is a loop of putting you on a pedestal, followed by pulling away. A man whose anima is active will treat you like a queen and then distance himself at the same time. He might say, "You are different from any girl I've known," or "I have never felt like this," or "You get me better than anyone." And then suddenly, maybe the next day, he is gone. He feels cold, hard to reach, and not there. Most women freak out and ask what they did wrong, but nothing is wrong. What really happened is his projection got too loud. Jung explained that when a man makes a woman a hero, he is putting all his hidden parts onto her. He no longer sees her as just a woman. He sees her as a sign of being complete, like a goddess. And deep down, this hurts, because if she is complete, then his own lack of being whole is very clear. Pulling away is his way of turning down the volume on that feeling. It is not a game. It is a mental shield. What matters is this: if he pulls away but keeps coming back, this is a man who wants to fix his anima. He just doesn't know how to do it. The second sign is feeling too much. He might say, "You bring up so much in me," or "I don't know what you do to me," or "When I am with you, I feel things I can't control." Women often hear this as romance or a warning, but what he is really saying is, "You are waking up my shadow." In Jung's world, the shadow is not evil. It is just everything we hid because we thought it was not okay. For many men, this is emotion, softness, and wanting a real soul bond. When he says he feels out of control, he means his usual mental walls are falling down around you. This doesn't happen with everyone. It only happens when a woman is so real that she cuts through his mask. The problem is, many women react by giving more emotion, more comfort, trying to fix him. This makes it worse. It proves his fear. I am weak. I need her. I am losing it. And a man who thinks he lost control will try to get it back. The fastest way is to stay away. So when he says he is overwhelmed, listen, but do not chase. Jung would say each person must walk their own path. You can watch it, but you can't do it for him. The third sign is a pattern of being close and then hiding. This is the most quiet but most clear sign. He gets close. The bond grows. Real trust starts. He shares secrets. And then, at the top of that closeness, he pulls back. But not all the way. He doesn't vanish. Instead, he stays on the surface. His texts get short. His energy feels low. He is there in person, but gone in spirit. Jung would call this going back to the mask. He hides behind a normal version of himself because the real self you touched feels too risky. What is cool is that in this phase, he is testing something. He is checking if you will take just his surface self or if you can hold space for all of him. Many women fail this test. They try to pull him back to the deep end. They ask what is wrong or why he changed. This feels right, but it proves his fear. It tells him his feelings are needed for you to be okay, and that feels like a big weight. So he protects himself by staying away more. The Jungian way is different. You see him pull back. You let him. But you stay deep. You don't shrink to fit his shallow level. You stay whole. You stay real without asking him to meet you there. This is the gap between being needy and being a mirror. Neediness says, "Come back, I need you." Being a mirror says, "I am still here in my truth, and you know where to find me." This is where the real shift happens. A man who has had his anima woken up cannot stay shallow for long when he knows depth is an option. He might tell himself he doesn't need it. He might run again. But his soul wants the growth this bond offers. So he returns, not because you chased him, but because his own mind pulls him back. Each time he comes back, he goes deeper. This is the growth process Jung spoke of. But it only works if you don't lose yourself. If you start hiding your truth to keep him, Or if you take his battle personally, you lose the very thing that helped him grow. That is why these signs are powerful. They let you see that this is not about you. This is his journey, and you can watch it without getting lost in it. But then the question comes, how long do I wait? How long do I stay as the mirror before giving up? This is the right question. Jung had a clear view on when to stay and when to leave. Here is the truth people don't say. Not every man is ready for the change your presence asks for. And the biggest trap for a woman like you is thinking that if you just wait long enough, he will change. Jung said you can't force growth. It must be a choice. You can hold the mirror. You can show him what is possible. But you can't walk for him. Some men would rather stay broken than face the fear of being whole. Jung called this refusing the call. These men stay in loops. They come close, then run. But they never stay. Not because they don't love you, but because loving you means they have to love themselves. And they can't do that yet. So how do you know if he is growing or just spinning his wheels? Jung gave 3 rules. First, is there movement? A man in real change moves. He might be slow, he might trip, but he moves. Each time he comes back, he is a bit more open. He starts to name his fears. You see steps forward. A stuck man comes back to the same spot every time. Same fears, same excuses, nothing gets deeper. He repeats the loop without learning. You are not his therapist. Your only job is to stay real and see if he is doing his own work. If nothing shifts after a long time, that is not growth. That is a wall. You can't save a man who won't look at himself. Second, does he own his stuff? A man ready for growth takes the blame for his own acts. He says, I know I run when it gets real and I'm working on it. This is a man fixing his shadow. He doesn't blame you for his bad feelings. A man who isn't ready does the opposite. He says you are too much or you expect too much. He makes his inner mess your fault. Jung was clear. Blaming others is the opposite of growing. You can't follow a man who won't stop blaming you. Third, does he look for his own answers? A man in real change looks inside. He reads, he thinks, he talks to people he trusts. He might go to therapy. He takes charge of his inner life. You don't have to explain his feelings to him. He finds his own words. A man who isn't ready wants you to carry the load. He wants you to tell him why he feels bad and fix it for him. This is tiring because you can't hand growth to someone else. So look at him honestly. Do you see steps forward or a loop? Does he own his feelings or blame you? Does he try or just wait for you to fix it? Be honest. Your wholeness is not up for trade. You are not here to lose your soul so a man can avoid his. You are not here to wait forever for a man stuck in fear. Jung said the biggest tragedy is people giving up being whole for a fake connection. This is what many deep, strong women do. They give up their depth to make a man stay. But the irony is that he respects her less because he feels she gave up her power for him. The more you shrink to keep him, the less he wants you, because it was your full self that he liked first. Jung's way is to stay whole and let him choose. This isn't being mean. It means saying, I am here in my truth. If you want to meet me here, I am open, but I won't get smaller to match your fear. This is being loyal to yourself. Men who are ready for growth are drawn to this. Men who are not are pushed away, and that is okay. You are looking for the man who is ready for the walk. Jung called this a high-level union of two people who chose to be whole. It happens naturally when both take their own growth seriously. So the question is not, how do I keep him? But, how do I stay whole while he finds his way? The answer is simple. Live your life. Keep growing. Stay deep. If he is the right man, and if he is ready, his own soul will bring him back. Not because you chased him, but because two people moving toward being whole naturally find each other. And if he doesn't come back, he gave you a gift. He freed you to meet the man who is actually ready, because there are men who have faced their shadow and who love depth. They are looking for a woman like you, a woman who doesn't run from herself, a woman who lives her truth, a woman who knows that real love never asks her to be less than she is. To continue this journey, we must look at what happens after you choose to stay whole. Once you stop chasing and start acting as a mirror, a new phase of the psychological process begins. Jung believed that the tension created by your refusal to shrink is actually the sacred fire required for a man to change. If you remove that tension by making things easy for him, you put out the fire, and he stays stuck. But if you hold your ground, he is forced to make a choice that will define the rest of his life. You must understand the concept of the threshold. Every man arrives at a point where his old way of living, hiding behind a mask, staying shallow and running from feelings, no longer works. Your presence is what brings him to this door. When he stands there, he feels a deep sense of loss. He feels he is losing the strong version of himself he spent years creating. This is why the withdrawal happens. It is a mourning period for his ego. He is terrified that if he steps through the door and accepts the deep bond you offer, the man he used to be will die. And in a way, Jung would say that is exactly what must happen. The boy must die so the man can be born. The mistake most women make at this threshold is trying to pull him through it. You cannot pull a man into his own maturity. If you do, he will only resent you for the pressure. Instead, you must become a containment vessel. This means you provide a steady, unchanging environment of love and truth, but you do not move from your spot. You show him that while he is falling apart, you are not. Your stability proves to his subconscious that the dangerous emotions he is feeling won't actually destroy the world. When he sees that you are not afraid of his depth, he slowly starts to lose his own fear of it. This leads to the stage of integration. If the man is capable of growth, he will eventually stop running and start asking questions. He will move from saying, "You are making me feel this," to "I am feeling this." This shift in language is the greatest victory in deep psychology. It means he has stopped projecting his inner world onto you and has started owning it. When a man reaches this stage, the distance closes naturally. You no longer have to wonder where you stand because he is no longer standing in fear. He becomes capable of a level of loyalty and protection that the masked version of him could never achieve. However, there is a final test for the woman in this process. You must be prepared for the fact that as he grows, he will see your flaws too. When the projection of the goddess or the perfect muse fades, he sees the real human woman. For the relationship to survive, you must allow him to see your humanity just as you have seen his. Jung called this the transition from the imaginary to the real. Many relationships fail here because the woman wants to stay on the pedestal. But true wholeness means being okay with being imperfect. In the end, this psychological path leads to a bond that is unbreakable. It is a connection built on the truth of who you both are, rather than the masks you wear to be liked. You become two individuals walking side by side, neither one hiding and neither one running. You realize that his pulling back wasn't a sign that you were failing, but a sign that you were winning the battle for his soul. By staying whole, you didn't just save yourself. You gave him the only map that could ever lead him home to his true self. This is the ultimate power of a woman who knows her worth. She doesn't just find love, she creates a space where real love is finally possible.